very much in favor of the counting of points.
Does it work for you? No.
Hello, and welcome back to The Run Through, your favorite figure skating podcast, where we talk about all things that make us kiss, make us cry, and make us go, that ice is a little slippery. That's it. That's my intro. Wait, Adam.
Yes.
Did you feel like this ice was really white?
No, I didn't. And I'm going to tell you
why. Wait, are you serious?
Yeah, I'm dead serious. Actually, before we get started, I'd like to... This is the 5th Grand Prix of the series. Also, the 5th Grand Prix that Sarah hasn't been here. So, I'd like to kind of... Yes, and, actually, in memory of her, we'll be playing the, Oh, there they are, the cannons. And each of these cannons is actually going off for each of the Grand Prix Sarah missed. Yes, when we miss her. That was because we missed Sarah, and it was in memory of her. And she's still alive, actually.
Yeah, not dead.
No.
Gone but not forgotten.
No. But I think we could be ready to dive right into the Finlandia Trophy. What do you have to say?
Wait, I just have to let people know. So Adam is in control of the soundboard, and what just happened, I had no idea what was going on, and whatever you just heard, I did not hear a single thing. So I'm assuming you shot off 5 cannon sounds in honor of Sarah.
Yeah, that is actually, so every time I play a sound or I am referencing the soundboard, I can hear it on my end because I'm playing it live. But Sarah, when she's famously on the podcast, and Ashley as well, they have no idea what's being played until they listen to the episode. Which is a great way to kind of get more views and listens, just kind of internally.
Yeah, I'm like, I need to know what he was playing over all of this. Okay, let's do a nice little swan dive into Finlandia. Was JP in Finland during this event?
JP was not. He was in Los Angeles, California with me, his husband. But we did watch this together. And JP, every once in a while, I'll remember a few things that he said. So I'll make sure that I get them out so everybody can know a lay Finnish person's point of view on what they had seen. Mm-hmm. Does that sound good?
That's it. I wasn't sure if you were just going to... I was going to say, Alex had some hot takes, too, that I was kind of shocked by.
Okay, wait. Actually, I'd like to start with that. Can we get one of
Alex's... The husbands of the pod?
Yes.
The husbands of the pod?
Can we get a hot take from Alex? May I start, actually? I know that I told you to start. So
you may.
I'll start with JP does not like the difficult exits out of the spins. Because every time...
Okay, so obviously it's a cartwheel that was...
It was the knee slides. Every time somebody did a knee slide, he was like, I always think they're making a mistake. He's like, that's not a mistake. I said, no, just of the people who wrote the rules.
It's a mistake of taste, but not a mistake, period.
Of character.
Yeah. Well...
And another thing he said was that he does not like when people skate to soundtracks of movies and then have costumes that are like the costumes of the movie. He said...
Oh, he'd hate my entire career then.
No,
that's all I did.
He was watching the Hungarians, Pavlova and Sviatchenko, who were skating to Pirates of the Caribbean again this year. And he did not like that they were dressed as pirates, which I think...
What do you wear to that music then? Just
I don't know. I think he's more taking it from the POV of like, you're an adult putting on a costume of a costume.
So he says it's in bad taste.
Yes. That would be the translation to what he had said. Yes.
Okay. I don't agree with him because I think if you were to go out and skate to Pirates of the Caribbean, I'm okay if you were to wear something circa 1700s Aruba. I don't know what.
Bermuda.
Yeah.
Bahama,
Bermuda.
come on, pretty mama.
Like that's fine. What else would you wear? It'd look weird if you were in,
I think
like,
I think Pirates
a
isn't a
normal
good
costume.
option anymore.
It's never been a good option for a senior team skater
It was when
Elena
Marina.
Leonova did.
Yes, and Marina Gasso had a bloody nose at the Olympics. Like then it was like that was
Wait,
it was
Mariah skated to Pirates of the Caribbean?
in 2010, and she got a bloody nose in the short program. Do you not remember? You blocked it out because
I wasn't watching 2010 because I was on my couch at home.
right, and you were creating your Twitter name Ash Wagner 2010.
Never forget.
I'll never. I'll
What doesn't
never
kill
forget.
you makes you stronger. Oh.
I want to start with one. I want to give out a shout out to Dr. Valter, who currently is 37 years old, still on the scene. And he's a full doctor. No,
You're talking about Walter Vertonen?
I am talking about.
He's a doctor?
He's a doctor and 37 years old, and one of his coaches is his wife. I don't know if that's one of his coaches, but his wife was in the kiss and cry with him. Probably like, you have patience.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, your schedule, you got to leave. Your pager has been going off for the last 10 minutes.
Yes. Now, it didn't go well, but I do want to say that I think he skated better than most doctors I've been to.
Couldn't agree more.
Thank you.
Actually, no, that's not true.
Okay.
Isn't Debbie Thomas a doctor?
Debbie Thomas is a doctor, but I didn't go to her. She's a brain surgeon, isn't she?
You haven't gone to Walter? What kind of a doctor is he?
I don't know. Hold on. Let's look that up.
He always looks a little tired when I see him skate, and now I understand. He's probably been on call for the last 48 hours.
Yeah, not a little tired. He looks
Exhausted.
He works part-time in the emergency room of a hospital.
That's exhausting.
Yes. So he's a part-time emergency room doctor, full-time athlete?
Okay, you know when you miss a night? Like, okay, imagine you've gotten off of a red eye.
I'm imagining it.
Now, imagine you go from the plane to the ice rink.
No.
That's what he would have to do.
Yeah. Oh, because you're considering every shift
Every
that
emergency.
he takes.
Every shift. He
is a
probably
red
has to
eye.
work in a... yeah. I'm assuming he's on the late night shift. Wait, actually, this is kind of not connected, but also connected entirely. So Rosie got croup.
Mm-hmm. Rite of
Which-
passage.
Rite of passage. If anyone doesn't know what it is, basically you immediately think that your kid is dying. And she was not, but she sounded terrible. So we took her into the ER because it was like 3 a.m. And a nurse was so lovely and helping us out. And her name is Cindy. And as she was kind of wrapping up her shift with us, she's like, "Are you Ashley Wagner?" And I'm like, oh my God, this is the most embarrassing moment of my life because I look like I've been to hell and back. I'm exhausted. And she was so sweet. Turns out she's a skating coach at the rink here on Nantucket, and she's now working at the rink with us.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
I was like,
I was
you owe her money, I bet.
definitely. Or at least or something for saving my child's
Or an
life.
apology. Something. You owed her something.
Speaking of jobs that are really hard to balance,
Yes.
do you think it's possible to, work on Wall Street and be a Grand Prix competitor?
I need to know who you're talking about before I answer that in good conscience.
Camden. No, he's not Wall Street. He's a finance pro.
He's in school.
I think he's out of school now. I think he's in the wild, working the streets of New York City.
Do you think?
No, I think he's graduated.
I mean, he went to Columbia in August of 2022.
Yeah, he's working at Capital One.
He is?
Yes, and he graduated from Columbia in 24. I do just want to say, he's such a lovely skater. It's like such a bummer that I don't know. I think it's good when people go off and do things in the real world and have a real life outside of skating. But it just makes you wonder, if you could just train, what that would look like and how that would change things, because he's balancing so much. And he's also a Grand Prix competitor at Sky Rink in New York City, a rink that famously like dips in the center. It's not even a flat sheet of ice.
Well, it's not an elite training rink.
It's not an elite training rink.
And I know that he has to train at like 6 o'clock in the morning, which when you're an elite athlete having to do all of the difficult things that he's doing in a program, that's not safe. Like your body isn't aware of the danger it's in. I guess sort of like making an investment in a Capital One sort of portfolio. So he is living dangerously.
In so many areas of his life.
But I agree with you that there is this balance of having something outside of the rink, but to truly be successful, you need to put so much of yourself and you need to prioritize one or the other.
Well, because then also it's like, I'm a naturally harsh person, so what I'm going to say, I don't know how to say it in a nicer way, but I don't mean it in a mean way.
Okay. This is an amazing entry into this.
In order to train as hard as you have to train to even get through a long program, that's so much work, period. Why put in that much work and be bad?
That's not mean. I think that's a really honest statement because you have to put in that much work to walk away from a competition and still be upset. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's really frustrating because I think we all know what Camden is capable of, and it's definitely more than what he showed on the Grand Prix series this year. And I think there is something to be said of, okay, the Olympics are next year. How seriously are you going to take this? Because there is definitely a door that is open, but that is slowly closing with skaters like Andrew Torgashev kind of stepping up to the plate right now. It's becoming less and less of a possibility.
I also think it's important to, at the same time, take a step back and be like, to acknowledge skating costs money, training costs money. When you are not at the top level for season after season after season and you're on maybe B envelope or even C envelope, you're not making enough money to survive. And if you're not getting prize pockets from these Grand Prix, you're not making enough money to survive. So at a certain level, there's this weird gray area where it just truly, it just stops making sense to keep going.
Yeah.
And he's kind of approaching that where it's like, all right, you have to adjust something. It's either you're good with your skating career and like you've done incredible things and you can ride off into the sunset and be known as being one of the most stunningly gorgeous male skaters we've had in the US in years, or you adjust your training balance and you put in the work. But I'd put money on it. He's going to show up to nationals and be 4th or 5th.
Yeah, I think that
he does that.
Feels right. I think that feels right. But, you know, what you said is so true that there is this bubble that sometimes if you haven't had that truly upward trajectory that you have to make it over. And I know it really well myself of you are still an elite athlete, I say in quotes, but then you aren't making enough money doing what you do at the elite level to fund it. And you're going to have to take on different forms of work to kind of pay for it. But then once you get past that threshold, your prize money and some of the shows you can do, that can help fund your career. You're not making a ton of money, but it is funding your career and you're not having to work outside of what your main objective is. And so there is something to be said about that of, you know, you to even just try, you need to have the money to get going.
Yeah. And the older you get, it's just you're pushing off the real world, which comes and gets us all at some point. And you have to figure out how you're going to navigate that. So, I mean, like he's set up for a real world life. And I look at some athletes and I'm like, I don't know what's going to happen on the other side of this. Yeah. Like, are you going to be okay? Like, he's going to be fine. Yeah. I am not worried about him.
You're looking right at me and I start crying. I'm like, what? What do you mean? No, I'm going to be okay.
Yeah, I'm like, I haven't finished my degree yet. I'm not licensed to help you out. But yeah, that took longer to talk about than I want to because he is a brilliant skater. It's just an interesting facet of skating that's worth talking about. It's
Yes.
just, when does it stop making sense?
Right. And I want to talk about the women. May I?
Are we done with the men?
No, we'll go back to them, but I need to. I can't.
Okay, good.
I can't make it this far into the podcast and not have brought up Laura Naki Gutman once.
What did she do in her off season?
I was just going to say,
a real question.
There is something to be said about somebody who has put in a ton of work over the off season, and she has obviously put in a ton of work, and it's super evident. Because I always thought she was like fun and kooky and weird, and I liked her performance style. But there's something that just clicked in the off season where
It's better content too, though. She's fun and kooky and weird, and I love it. But this free skate is refined. It's not relying on cheap tricks like belly on the ice, scorpion leg to be like, ooh, that's memorable. She's now like, I'm memorable because I'm 10 feet tall. My limbs go on forever. And on top of that, I know how to point my toes.
there's just something to be said where you can tell that when she's skating these programs that she can push through and she can be aggressive and she can attack these elements. The jumps are cleaner than ever. I truly believe I'm a goot head that I believe that she should have won the short program, because for me that short program was kind of everything I wanted. It was something that was dynamic. It was fun. I will say her double axel does look like she's getting like shot out of a slingshot. But aside from that, everything
the
was
Skate Canada canon.
Literally. And I just think that she was giving me everything that I wanted to see. And I really like Hana Yoshida, but I'm not as inspired as I am when I watch Laura Naki Gutman. I'll say it, uninspired.
Okay, can I don't know if I like Hana Yoshida.
I do, because I remember her from last year, and I loved the
Me
short
too.
program
I
from
loved her last year.
I liked her long program from last year. The material that she has this year, it's like French chants, and it doesn't make any sense. I don't know if she likes it. It doesn't really work for me.
I completely agree. Last year, her short program, I was obsessed with it. I really, really loved it. I know that Caitlin Weaver choreographed her short. She didn't choreograph her free skate. I don't know her involvement in her programs this year, but the free skate looks like it's trying to capture that like edgy skating that she had in her short program last year, but I don't like it. I don't think that style of skating is good for a free skate. And she just looks stiff. And in a short program, being stiff and skating to that kind of music, like, it doesn't end up feeling overpowering or overwhelming. I don't know. I don't get sick of it. But in a free skate, when it's that kind of alien, spacey French music, and then she just skates really stiff, it's a long time for me to be like, this is stiff. This is really stiff.
Totally.
This is really, really stiff. I just want someone to like put her in a mirror and mold her fingers and be like, these are dance fingers. What you're doing is not. Show me the dance fingers.
There's just something where she's getting the job done, but it's at the expense of me personally not feeling any sort of emotion to what I'm watching. And I feel like the material she had last year, it invited me in. And this year, she looks almost more immature on the ice. She looks younger on the ice. She looks like she doesn't look as if she's buying into what she's trying to sell.
Well, she looks like she's just really focused on her triple axel.
Which I would be too. I mean, I was for a really long time, and I'd missed them too. And she's doing a much better job at doing them than I did my career. But this is leading me to another thing I want to talk about. I want to talk about Rino Matsuki. I think Rino is fantastic, but it's really interesting to me that somebody who has so much skill lacks so much control. And I'm going to say this.
Whoa, can you say that in a Explain.
The reason she's making mistakes, and I was trying to think about it when I would watch her, and this is the conclusion I came to. You know how when you're driving on the highway, when you first drive on the highway and you're in your car and you're on the gas and you realize that people aren't going as fast as you, so you let off of the gas so that you can let the car coast, right?
Yeah.
But when you first start driving, you're on the gas, you realize you need to slow down, so you immediately go to the brake. And so the car is like, whoa, 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 whoa. There's this push and pull
It's
of
jerky.
like, because you don't have control over the car. You don't know the car yet. When Reno goes into some of these jumps, she's all on the gas and she realizes that she needs to slow down a little bit or adjust. And so she goes on the brake for a second and then she goes back onto the gas. She doesn't coast. She never gets...
She can't like pull back. It's like
she doesn't
a
have
big correction.
She doesn't have like an awareness of how do I adjust on the go. She can go or she can stop, which is why I think she made that silly mistake on the easiest jump in her program in the free skate, and why she can go into that combination jump in the short program at the Finlandia Trophy and just miss the flip. But then she knows, okay, I need to be aggressive, and she goes and she does the best triple of the event in the second half that wasn't planned. And so she's just having this issue of like, she doesn't have a feeling of her own skill. Does that make sense, what I'm trying to say?
No, it does. It does. I was going to say, I feel like part of her problem is that she's so soft that unless she's kind of like under fire and has to go and do a combination because she's made a mistake, it's almost like so gentle that she doesn't have that snap and that fight and that ability to correct and move her body where it needs to go because it's just so soft. And that's what makes her beautiful to watch.
Yes. You know,
but I think that gets her.
When we train, Ashley, and you know this from training yourself, that when you're in a competition, everything is different. Like, it's not you just go out and repeat and do the same thing. Every element you do is this living, breathing thing. And you need to, you're never, very rarely going and repeating the pattern right on top of one another. You'll see a lot of patterns in the same place, right? But that means that you're taking a corner a little bit differently every single time. It means that you're adjusting a 3-turn or a step into a jump a little bit every time, which means you have to have a lot of body awareness with what you're doing. Hey, did I take that a little too quickly? Do I have enough room? Did I go too slow? And so then you adjust it on your entrance into the jump of, do I need to jump a little higher? Do I need to take it a little longer? Do I need to go a little quicker? And Reno, I can see it in just the mistakes that she's made throughout the Grand Prix, is that she's not adjusting to what's happening with her on the go. In the same way that like Cowrie can. Like Cowrie can skate incredibly fast into something and we can't see it because has this awareness, but she'll adjust according to, did she go as fast as she can? Did she need to back down a little bit? And that's what makes her more consistent, is that she has that awareness.
But I also think Cowrie's just stronger.
The thing is that Reno, you can tell in the skating that she does, and she can hold these solid edges.
I mean, she's that footwork sequence?
Right. Like, she's not intimidated or she's not weak. She's very strong. It's just that, like, push and pull, which is why,
but strength at holding an edge is different from strength with rotation. That's like G-force.
I just think that, like, it's when you are on the gas and you go right to the brake and then right to the gas, that shows a level of not knowing how to commit, but wanting to. And that's what I see
young,
from her.
Isn't she?
I don't know how young she is.
No, she's 20. Oh my God. They're born in the 2000s now.
Someone else I want to talk about, Sarah Everhart.
Oh my God. Not an ounce of performance, but if she ever figures it out, everyone had better watch out.
Now, this is a good example of like Reno versus Sarah. Sarah knows how to go onto the gas and let up. Like, she can make it around those deep corners if she's like a speed race car driver, right?
We're really leaning heavy into the car
Because
talk,
this
and
is what
neither
really
of us
it's
should.
really resonating with me personally. That like
You got in a car accident in a parking lot, and the side of my car right now has a dent going from passenger door to back door.
okay,
So.
this is what I'm gonna say. Sarah Everhart gives you no reason to review any of her jumps.
Oh, it's so crispy clean.
But someone needs to lock her in a rink with
Me.
you. Someone needs to lock her in a rink with a choreographer.
Yes. And a mirror.
Mm-hmm.
You can tell that she skates in a rink without a mirror. Because she does not know what a single one of those positions look like.
I think she cares, but she also...
She does. No, this is not coming from a lack of care. It's
No.
just her skating hasn't matured to this point yet.
No, it hasn't. But she's really interested. I'm very fascinated by her because
Me too.
I really like her. And I think that she would totally understand, like, no, Sarah, you have to work on this. Because now
she would get it.
She would get it. Because right now she's like in the Grand Prix, she's skating tribute programs. Like, she doesn't have anything of her own right now. Do you know what I mean? Like, her short program is a Jason Brown tribute program. Her long program is a Gracie Gold tribute program.
Mm-hmm.
She's skating tribute programs.
She is. I don't... Okay, wait. I have a question for you.
Yes.
What's Firebird about? I actually do not know what Firebird is. Is it a ballet?
Yes.
Okay, so it's a ballet. What's the story of Firebird?
Okay, Firebird is a ballet based on a Russian folktale about a prince who uses the help of a magical bird to defeat an evil sorcerer and rescue princesses.
Okay, so is she the prince? Is she the bird? Or is she the princess?
She doesn't know. And
well, that's where I'd start. I'd say, which one are you? It's 2024. Who do you identify the most with?
No, I think if you asked her which one are you, she would go, okay, I'm either Carly or I'm Gracie.
Which one skated to it? Gracie.
Gracie. I'm Gracie Gold.
I'm Gracie. I love her dress, though. It's beautiful.
It is. But this is what you do when you're trying to find an identity, I think, if you are intimidated of performing, the best route to go. Stop being intimidated.
Get over it.
Yeah. One, get over it. And two,
get over it.
Skate to a program that you were inspired by, because it makes it easier for that skater to interpret.
Emulate.
But now she's kind of expedited her own career by being so consistent that, like, she's at a point where she's still trying to develop and find herself, but she's kind of catapulted herself right onto the scene where now we're demanding her have her own identity.
Yeah. Welcome to the scene, babe. You do belong here, but you know what it is? This is how I taught myself to perform, because I didn't know how to perform in the slightest. I went to the yoga room at Mount Vernon Rec Center, and there was a mirror in there, and I pushed play, and I just literally did the face of my program over and over and over again. And that's how I started to learn. And then obviously it didn't stick, but but you have to be in front of a mirror. And then also at a certain point, like, I don't know a better way to say this. Like, when people are like, I'm really nervous about performing, I'm like, who cares? Who cares? Because you know what? If you're going to look bored or if you're going to look terrified, you're not going to be memorable.
This is the thing.
You look so much better when you commit and make weird, kooky faces than doing nothing.
Like, just think of some of our favorite programs that we've ever seen. Like, doesn't matter if I like it, love it, or hate it. Kevin Amos is always going to do something that, like, I'm buying it because he's buying it. And Kurakova, exactly.
Kurakova is a great example. Do I love her programs? No. But do I think... Can I deny that she is a fabulous performer? Also, no, she's incredible.
Or that we're still talking about her at a Grand Prix that she wasn't even at. Like,
right.
She's memorable. She's leaving an impression.
She's doing something with her face, and it's to distract you from her cheated two-footed jumps. And I did the same thing. It works.
It does work. Sometimes it works too well. I'll say that.
Oh, wait. I thought something dumb, and I have to be honest, because I'm also not convinced that what I saw isn't true.
Mm-hmm.
Nella, the Finnish girl.
Yes.
Okay, so she skates in a fabulous program for her. Really great. She has these like purple gloves on her hands that just whatever. But the next, like, it's 3 skaters later, and I see someone zipping up a jacket and like adjusting their dress in the sweeper's box.
Mm-hmm.
And they have blonde hair and a middle part and a low pony and like dark roots. And I'm like, oh my God, Nella is also working this event.
She's doing 2 shifts. She's doing a double shift.
And I'm like, that can't be possible. But I kid you not, it looked just like her. And I think she did.
Okay.
I don't. But
There's
like,
also something that I remembered right now in this moment. There's 2 things. One, I found a new thing that I hate in skating. 2 new
Tell
things. Well, I'll start with like the most obvious. I hate the choreographic step sequence. What a stupid idea. Because you're having somebody do a sequence of choreography. Shouldn't they have been doing that the whole time? What are you talking about? A choreographic sequence?
but like the choreographed step has been part of the program for eons.
And yeah, but you know what? Like, you know how you were talking about when I obviously again am protesting the levels. It's almost like they shouldn't. This is the thing. It would be more interesting, and I think that we needed to go this way. You needed to go all the way one direction to then go back to the other direction.
Like the selection, obviously.
Right.
Yes. You have to overcorrect to get things back to where they should be.
To a livable situation. Now, I'm almost like what they should do is you should have required elements again. Like in the short program, you should have a step sequence. This every year the men should have to do a change foot sit spin or a change foot camel, and it should be like everybody has to do the same thing, and everybody has to. I mean,
there was a required spiral in the free skate up until they switched it out for a required choreographed step, but that's because spirals are getting so bad, and then you're watching all of these bad spirals.
But
like,
you know what?
I don't know anything about Sarah Everhart's spiral, but I kind of don't think I need to know.
But I'd like to know, because also these sequences, the sequences gave structure and patterning to a program. A straight line,
true.
A serpentine, a circle, and now the way that things are going and the way that people are pushed to, you have to have transitions throughout. Don't be on 2 feet. Don't stop. You always have to move. That you'll have almost everyone, because it's the way that it has to be done, muddle through the whole 4 minutes. And there's different variations of going faster and catching your breath. But people are just muddling through these programs where it would be so much more effective if they had a spin and they could stop for a second and be standing still in the middle. Like, it would be so effective to the choreography.
But that's choreography. I stopped multiple times in my program and
because you needed a break.
Right. So you make it happen. If you need it, you make it happen. Maybe they just don't need it.
But this choreographed sequence, the criteria is cover the ice. So you have people just kind of covering the ice in this arbitrary way in something that's not interesting. We need a bit of structure so that there can be some creativity. If you just let it up to, you have to do at least 8 rotations on both feet and you have to do a camel, good luck. We would see a million different versions of somebody doing a camel, and then you'd get people doing signature moves again. You know?
The spins, I agree. The choreographed step, I disagree with.
But you know, a step, this is what it is. What people have to do in the step sequences now is moves in the field. They're having to do skating skills. That's not steps. Mm-hmm. That's not quick steps. That's nothing to do with the music. They're checking off. They're basically doing different figure patterns at a high speed, going and covering the entire ice. There's no like rhythm to it.
I mean, but then what about like Yuma and Kevin?
I'm speaking for the majority of everyone, because when you're not Yuma and Kevin, it can look like you're just kind of out there marching around doing something that doesn't have any rhyme or reason. The best of the best make it look structured. But this would make everyone look better. That's what I'm saying. You know, the best skaters in the world make you forget that you're watching leveled spins. The best skaters in the world make you forget that you're watching leveled footwork because they do it so seamlessly.
I'm just like too competitive. I'm like, I'm not interested. I'm not in the business of making other people look better. If you don't look good, that's on you, not me.
But the thing is that if you look good doing the thing that everybody else can't do, you'll look even better. Like,
No,
it's not.
that's not true. I wasn't that good. I was like good enough, but they would just elevate up to my level. I wouldn't improve. I'd be doing the same thing. There wouldn't be as big of a difference.
I love that you still take this from the point of view of like, you have to go to Cup of China next week and we cannot change
Stop,
this.
it's so triggering.
Okay, now let me give my last thing that I realized I hate it in single
Oh my God,
skating.
we've been talking about one hate for this entire time. Whoa.
Spinning on both knees.
Yeah, it's just becoming of a lady, man.
No, enough. That's what you did when you like first learned how to skate. You did that in your rental skates. You skated as fast as you could and you fell onto both of your kneecaps as hard as you could. You slapped those suckers down and you spun. Honey, you spun the hell out of your knees. Not at a Grand Prix. Get up.
Get off
up.
your knees.
Get up.
Stop flipping your sister's skirt and get off your knees.
Exactly. Stop it. There's no sort of skating skill or control that it takes to spin on both of your sorry bloody knees.
Yeah, I don't want to see bloody knees.
No.
It reminds me of like I think it's football where if there's blood, they cannot play. They are immediately taken off the field, which I'm just like, this is why football's not a serious sport.
Well, in skating, somebody bleeds, they have to do an ice cut.
There's blood all over that ice. But it's true. There's little blood droplets all over the ice. Someone will cut their finger and there's blood on the ice. Someone has a bloody nose, like Mariah Nagasu.
At the Olympics that you don't remember.
Did they do a Zam?
No, they didn't. I don't think they did a Zam, but she like ended the program in her final pose, blood dripping.
That's hardcore.
Yes. I mean, I don't think she knew she had a bloody nose, and she was like, I'm going to push through this. I think she
It's
just
the
got
Olympics.
one. Yeah.
Oh, well. Okay, yeah, get off your knees.
Yeah, get off your knees and get onto
Be
your feet.
professional.
Yeah, like, show me some skill. Like, what's next is like, you know what's next? And I know that we're headed there.
There's a slide. It's a choreographed slide.
They're going to do a difficult exit will be spinning on your rear end.
No.
I thought no to doing a
Because
cartwheel.
Alyssa would do that. I could see it.
Of course Alyssa would do it. She's an adrenaline junkie.
Yeah, she'd be like, it's free.
Okay, something I hope was free was the choreography to Daniel Grassel's short program, because I don't understand this at all.
I don't understand
get
either
it
of his programs.
literally at all. I don't get it. What's happened? What's the question mark for? If that question mark on the hand wasn't there, then I would just go, this is just it's a program. Okay, I can.
It's him calling for help. He's saying, I don't understand this either.
Can someone explain this to me?
He's signaling. He's virtue signaling.
We need these characters.
Oh,
We need
he
someone-
takes up an important space.
Yes, and this is and I decided to go, we need this when he didn't wear the flesh tone gloves in the free skate. And I went, all right, I'm sat down and I'm going to hear you out. I didn't like what I heard, but I heard him out. And I'm going to tell you something else. Somebody who goes, shout out to my haters, after they missed 3 doping tests, is an incredible performer.
And insane.
We need that.
The point that you just made is a good one. And there's always one skater that can't point their toes to save their life that
I mean,
finds success in this sport. And it was me, and now it's him.
don't act like it's such an exclusive club to not point your toes.
It's hard to point your toes in the skates. My stance, not yours.
Can I talk about Kevin for a moment?
We should. Wait. He responded to us in an interview because the interviewer asked him a question. I read this and it's like, would you be willing to take a second to respond to some quotes from the Run Through podcast? And I was
God,
like, oh
what did
my
we
God.
say?
Oh no, I know. I immediately was like, I felt like sick to my stomach because I think we're in an interesting position where we're out of this enough that maybe we don't know every single skater personally, but we're still close enough to it that you remember what it feels like when people have bad opinions or negative opinions about your skating.
And also, wait, I'm going to say this too. If there are any like elite skaters, which I do believe that there are, because when I was skating, I would go, I don't listen to that. And I'd be a liar. I was elite and a liar.
Yeah.
That when we say anything that's like, sounds like criticism, we say it because, well, and we hate you. And we say it
knowing it's hard work. What you're doing is hard work. What you're doing is something that right now, could I go out and do it? No, but I remember how hard it is.
Yes. And we say it from the point of view that we used to do what you did, and we totally respect you and we get it. And we're joking around with you because you're
memorable.
Yes. And
you're memorable.
And that's all it is. It's just, we're just having a fun time. Now, what did we say?
You might be less so, but so, because I was worried it was going to be about him crying too much.
Was it?
And it wasn't.
Oh, God.
It wasn't. So the first one, I was quoted asking or saying basically like what Mr. Nix told me, where every second in your program has to be a picture. And he basically does a great job at that. And yours was that you were saying that Kevin just needs to like start believing that he can skate like that. Like, don't be so shocked every time. Believe it. And he's like, yes, no, I know that I definitely need to do that. And it was just he's a good kid. You can tell he's like good energy, good kid. He didn't cry this time.
No, and I'm going to say two things. One, now, the short program, if I were still skating, I'd be so motherfucking mad because that's the shirt I want. That's the costume I would have wanted. And I'd be so furious that somebody was skating in the costume I wanted.
If you could pick any costume on the circuit right now, would that be the costume you would take?
I mean, if I could pick any two, it would be both of Kevin's. I think Kevin has the best costumes out of all the men this year.
Okay.
Do you not agree?
No, I do. I would definitely take Nina Pinzerone's free skate costume.
I would take, if I had to take two women's costumes, I would take both of Nina Pinzerone's dresses.
I would take her free skate, and then I would take, I think, Hana Yoshida's short program costume. It's cool. It's like sculpted.
Oh, yeah. It's very Matty Chalk.
It's so Matty Chalk. That's definitely what I would do. All right, continue. You were talking about Kevin.
I almost feel like, I'm sure he gained some confidence from the clean program he skated in Allen at Skate America. But this program, I'm almost like, this should give you even more confidence because
This is not a fluke. Now it's like you're training.
No, that's that's like a program that you make through. That's a program that you make it through because of your training. Fall on the first element, double 3 turn out of the second one, and then skate cleanly.
Lock it down.
That's what happens when you skate and train, period. That's what happens when you train. And I'm almost like, this should almost give him more confidence because he's proven to himself that it doesn't matter what happens. He's able to adjust on the go, and one mistake doesn't mean the whole thing falls apart. And so for me, the free skate here was an even bigger statement than a clean free skate would have been.
I agree. I think that's a good point to make. I'm really happy for him. I'm happy to see him happy and look just healthy.
Yeah, it's just, this is how, as a viewer, I want to watch Kevin, where it's like, yes, people make mistakes and they happen. And he got too excited in the short program and did a single Lutz. You know, it happens and you roll your eyes and you're like, come on, don't do that. But it's never the breakdown. We never want to see that. We never want to see the breakdown. We can see somebody have a rough go at it. Because we did not do this when he competed the last time on the Grand Prix, talk about Yuma Kageyama.
Why is he so messy this season?
Okay.
His short program has been great. Both events, he had great shorts. But his free skate is just like, and you can tell, if you were to do everything, that free skate's a masterpiece.
Mm-hmm. Yes, I agree. And I'm going to say that the quality of his skating is head and shoulders above every single person who is currently competing. His skating is so beautiful and so classic and so powerful. Does one or two pushes and is completely on the other end of the rink. And the skating quality that he has is, there's nobody who can compare or compete. Now, I think obviously when we think of who is going to challenge for a world title, we obviously think of Ilya Malinin because he's the reigning world champion, and you have to think of Yuma Kageyama as well. And I think this is what I'm getting to, is that the quality of what Yuma does should outweigh the content of what Ilya is doing. But Ilya's material this year is almost more engaging than Yuma's is. And I think Yuma is seeing all of the quads that Ilya's putting in, and he's working himself up and is getting intimidated by that instead of really focusing on what he can bring to the table that Ilya can't. Mm-hmm. Does that make sense? Do you know what I'm saying? That, like, I'm almost more into what Ilya is doing because he's totally bought into it. And when Yuma is skating, I'm like, God, this is the best stuff that's out there. But he hasn't totally bought into it. And I can feel him when he makes a mistake go, ugh.
Well, can you imagine hearing all the time, this is the best, this is the best, this is the best, and you're always second?
No, I can't.
That would mess with your head. Because no, me neither.
No, because they
can't.
They never said that to me. They'd go, you're the best, but they'd say it sort of like in a way to like shut me down.
Yeah, right. That was the best.
Wow, you are the best. And they'd say that sort of in a way to be like, quit.
Let's get into the messiest event of Finlandia.
Which was, are you going to say the dance?
The dance. Can you believe this is a mess, but it's fierce. Lila and Lewis are going into the Grand Prix final as the only team with 2 Grand Prix wins. We live in a universe where that is true. And you cannot hate on a person that shows up when someone else doesn't. And I'm speaking from experience.
It's just...
because it doesn't take away from what they're doing. They're making the most of every opportunity that comes their way, and they're still skating the programs that they need to, where when someone makes a mistake, it's good enough to push them into first.
And at this point, they've capitalized on the top 2 teams from Worlds making a mistake to win both of their Grand Prix. They're entering this Grand Prix final as the only team that's undefeated.
That's crazy.
And, you know, there's something to be said that, like, that doesn't happen by accident. Because the training that they're doing is working for them.
Technically it does, because accidents happen on the ice.
But you know what? Accidents do happen, but if you've trained, because there were a few times where I saw...
They weren't the accident.
No, and I saw Lewis, like, lose his balance once throughout, like, a midline step, and I saw Lila almost get out of sync on a Twizzle, but, like, they recover because I could just feel that they've done it so many times that nothing was going to throw them off. They weren't going to let anything throw them off. And so they go out and they can just be incredibly consistent. I think, I would have never guessed this. It's shocking, but I love it.
Good for them.
Now, I'm going to say something that I think the best free dance of the season is Versluis and Turkula.
They should have won. in
this
my
is
opinion.
it's the most thought out concept. It's the most cohesive packaging of a free dance. And I'm going to go a step further and go,
I mean, I have, okay, I'm cutting you off, but I don't want to. So you keep going.
I want to be cut off.
Olivia and her partner, I think that is the most thought out free dance of this season.
I think those are the best.
She's wearing a hood.
Which I don't think you need to wear a hood.
And I do. I want to see a
two...
chaste woman in the desert, and she's giving that. But I think the Finnish team, to your point, the free dance, it's so, the way that like every like intro step into, or like she's preparing to like jump into a rotational, like it's all themed.
Every
There's
element
something going on.
Only satisfied my craving for this
Platinum
program.
blonde.
Yeah, exactly. Everything was completely thought out. There was no element of like, oh, we've worked on this lift. Everything was made and tailored to exactly this music, and it was incredibly evident. And another thing, like to go back to what I said at the beginning of the episode of when there's somebody who has some really great material, they make you forget you're watching leveled things. I forgot that they were doing the character step because it just fit so well into what they were doing. It was incredible. I think that, and also the rhythm dance. I fucking hate the rhythm dance this year. It's so bad. It's so cheesy. It's like almost borderline embarrassing.
I hate every single rhythm dance this year. I would say the only one that doesn't like, maybe Zingus and Kolesnik I'm okay with, and then beyond that the French team. Other than that, every single Piper and Paul's rhythm dance,
I liked it way more this time. I will say that I like it way more.
I'm trying. And like, I'm recognizing that I'm being so hateful towards an entire genre of skating. And so I'm trying to go into it being like, I need to like this. I need to like this.
No, you don't. No. I also want to say that I love the Tashlers so much.
Oh my God, me too.
I think that she's one of the most... Listen, I'm not a dancer, so I don't know if, we had a dancer on here and be like, yeah, she's really good, but, she blah, blah, blah. When I watch her, I go, I don't think I've ever seen somebody skate like that ever in my whole life.
She reminds me, she skates like Maddie Hubble to me.
Yeah, but on crack. When Tashlerova is doing a back crossover, she extends her legs so far out, she's almost in a middle split. Like,
yeah,
it's I would pay to go to the Czech Republic to get a lesson from her on how to do a back crossover.
Yeah, I wouldn't, because I know that what she's doing is too hard. Like, I'm not good enough to do a crossover like that.
I don't think
I have two labral tears.
Well, what's a third?
No, I can't get over the splits that she does, where she like cartwheels over
the upside
her
down
brother,
split.
and then it's an upside down split. I can't get over that.
It's just I mean, it was incredible. Another thing I want to shout out is Hannah Lim of the Korean Skating Federation, and
only Hannah.
This is a direct shout out to only Hannah.
Only Hannah. Okay.
That girl can perform.
She's committed to the character.
I could not take my eyes off of anything that she was doing. Yeah, the way that Hannah skated this Cruella program made me think that if she had to go head to head against Emma Stone, Emma would be maybe in trouble.
Should we just talk about the pairs?
So I think quickly, just to go over the pairs, it doesn't matter.
Why are they there? It does. Like, specifically Deanna Stellato Dudek, it matters. But like, this season is abysmal. Yeah. Abysmal. It's so bad that I watched the last three like the pairs of I cannot watch pairs. It's so bad.
This is what happens when you overcomplicate it. Like, there's nothing that's clean. There's nothing. Even your best teams are doing the triple toe axle sequence to get the most amount of points, and it's barely appealing when a single skater does it, but it's absolutely atrocious when you see two people, they have enough time to look over at each other to decide,
You're like, you good?
Yeah, should we do it? And it's just, it's awful. It does not look good at all. I don't think side-by-side jump combos ever look good in pairs. The spins aren't side-by-side. The pair
You know what
spin,
I think they need to do? Get rid of the singles elements. And by singles elements, I really just mean the side-by-side jumps. None of them can jump. None of them. Or make doubles illegal.
They need to make doubles illegal, like dancing for the Irish.
It's embarrassing. It is... Every episode, we got to mention it once. It is embarrassing.
I think a double axle is okay.
If it's smart. A double axle is fine.
But
that's
a
fine.
double
That's
Saukow is not. No, I'm so sorry.
That's not elite. It's not elite.
No, to do a side-by-side double Saukow or double toe loop is so insane to me. I'm sorry. You got to barrel down and you just got to fall. And I go back to saying taking the levels out is the way to go right now, because it's just so overly complicated that unless somebody's having like the moment of their life, it always looks sloppy.
What is different that we're asking the skaters to do now? Or is it that the talent base is just
It's not the talent. No.
It's not the talent, right? I don't
not,
want to say that these skaters aren't as good.
No, because they're having to, a pair's step sequence does not look good. It takes too long. Again, they look like they were just in the barn and they're kicking mud off their shoes because they're having to do all these turns. That's what it looks like. It looks like they lost their car in a parking lot and they're walking around trying to find their car at Disneyland because they can't remember where they parked. They're kicking mud off their boots because it's just taking too long to show these turns are clean. This is that. We've lost the plot totally. You need to be like, there's a side-by-side step sequence and it's got to be entertaining. Go. That would be
I also think that every pair team needs to have a required month of training at a dance camp.
They would have time to do that if they didn't need to go to circus school to learn how to do a new lift. And then because they have to learn
But the dancers are going to circus school too.
I will say that the pairs lifts are harder than the dance lifts, I think. And dancers are better skaters than all of us.
That's universally true. But I don't want to touch someone on the ice. So I am
barely
saying
off
this
the ice.
and barely off the ice. And so when it comes to pairs, I'm just like, why does your partnering look bad? It doesn't look bad in dance. Why does it look bad in pairs? In pairs, it looks so, perfunctory. This
is the thing, Ashley. If you go back and you watch the 2002 pairs Olympic Games, where Jamie Salé and David Pelletier get second and then...
It's the French judge.
If you watch the programs back to back, the Russians have a fully constructed program that has transitions all throughout, and it's gorgeous and it's stunning and nobody could do that. And Jamie and David were amazing and incredible, and they had the Olympic moment. They had the moment, but the material they were doing was like Tinker Toys in comparison to what the Russians were doing. But at the time, they were doing what you were expected to do. You needed to create a moment. And that's the problem that we have now, is that it's not about creating a moment. It's about what can you throw in there and how close can you get to throwing in as many things as possible and being clean. Back in the day, everybody could go clean, but it was about doing a moment. I remember watching
Why were they all going clean though?
Because it was easier. Because it was...
Were they doing side-by-side doubles? I don't remember.
No, they weren't. They were doing triples, but they could go into it and they could do 4 crossovers, take a step forward, and take a 1, 2, 3, and then step into a 3 turn. Now they have to do all these transitions and they have to do all of this witchcraft before something. Because if you're on 2 feet, the judges are going to go, oh, well, there's no transitions there, even though it's ugly, because people are just adding shit in to be like, look, I added this in. I remember once, at a Grand Prix, this is when I first started doing the Grand Prix, Evan Lysacek was backstage, and he was saying, I have 55 transitions in my program. And I remember sitting backstage being like, what the fuck is he talking about? What does that even mean? And now I'm thinking about it years later, like 20 years later, and I'm going, you shouldn't count the transitions in your program.
Yeah.
Transitions should be seamless, and they should be a beautiful transition could be.
It's choreography. I
Yeah.
hate that it's ironic coming from me, but like still, transitions shouldn't feel like a separate thing. Transitions are choreography.
But when we were all trying to figure out what everything meant, because this is like in the beginning of the new system, that mentality that he was talking about is like what's been implemented. You can't just go into an element. You have to do that extra rocker, that extra step, that extra toe
I miss
hop.
simple skating.
It's
I really
very
do.
effective.
Yeah.
It's very effective, and there's something to be said about the tension it can build.
Pause. Pause is powerful. There's something about stillness that truly going into a throw, stillness before a throw, the tension that you're building as the audience, the anticipation where you're like, oh my God, they're going into their throws, they're going into your throws. I watch some of the skaters now and I'm like, oh my God, that was a throw? No wonder she fell.
I mean, I honestly feel that like 2018 they were the last programs that I watched that had, it was easier what we did when we were
But
skating.
that was the end of a generation.
It was
and
because we
she
also
had,
yes, totally.
She
true.
had competed in the not old system, but like the older system where it wasn't so complicated, and so you're watching her skate through this program, and she could maintain those transitions because she got the basics of year after year after year with like solid, still, like not
Wait,
complicated
who's her?
entrances.
Who are you talking about?
I'm talking about the German team.
Like Aliona?
Yeah.
Yes. Did you say her name ever? Did I just miss it?
No, I never said her name.
I was like, okay, are you talking about Mawasada? I was lost for a moment.
I mean, fair. You should never assume that I know who I'm talking about.
I think Pears is always the one, and Sarah's brought this up on the podcast too, where she says that it's like, it's the best, but it can also be the worst.
Yeah, there's like no middle ground with pair skating. Speaking of Sarah, we do have a statement, and I'm going to read it now. She says, "The United Nations says Finland is the happiest country on earth. And you know what? Maybe figure skating wasn't meant to happen in those conditions. I think some of the skaters got too happy this weekend. They forgot that figure skating isn't for being happy. It's for my entertainment and for Olympic glory. And that's why everyone needs to leave Finland and go back to training in their capitalist societies and remind us that humans aren't meant to be happy. They're meant to lock in and be miserable on the endless hamster wheel chasing money and ambition."
Yes.
That's real life. Happiness isn't real. Landing your
Keep
jumps
going,
is real.
Ashley. Don't stop.
Doing your Twizzles is real. Diana Stellato Dudek is real. Better luck next week, skaters. I trust we won't be as distracted by happiness at Cup of China.
You know what I have to say about what Sarah just said is that I am very scared that the Grand Prix end in Cup of China, famously, usually the worst Grand Prix of the season.
Hey, you know what? Maybe it's going to be a fantastic event and we're going to be left gooped.
Maybe.
Maybe. Did you ever compete at Cup of China?
I have. I've competed at every single one.
Yeah.
Did you
Yeah.
compete at every single one?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, back in the day, there was the Cup of Russia.
Oh, I never did like Finlandia.
Yeah, I never
But-
did that. I did your classic ones.
Wait, did you do Cup of Russia?
Yeah, twice.
Yeah. Yeah.
Wait,
With
I did Skate America, Skate Canada, I did NHK, China, Russia,
And Trophy Eric Bompard.
and Eric Bombard. Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Multiple times. I think the only one
Yeah.
I ever did once was Cup of China. I only did it once. And I'll tell you why. I headbutt someone in the 6-minute warm-up, and they were taken off the ice in a neck brace.
And they were Chinese.
And they were Chinese. And then they win.
And
Well,
they
now
were you ended his career.
in a way.
He was never the same after that.
You know what? That is true. And the other thing that is true is there was a banquet at the end and I won an iPad and I asked for the microphone. This is true. And I said, I want to just say, I'm so grateful to win my iPad and I'm so sorry for hitting your skater. And I gave the microphone back. And someone from the Chinese Federation came up to me and said, oh, don't even worry about hitting him because he didn't get up, so he's weak. And I went, oh my God. And I looked over and he was still in a neck brace.
In his neck brace.
And I said, are you okay? And he said, it's okay. I don't even remember it. And I went, oh God. But then I went on my iPad and I was fine because I had just won it. And I was a winner. I was a winner of an iPad, not of a medal at that event.
I'll never. This is just one of those where maybe no one needs to know, but I'm going to tell you. I was in Beijing and I needed to buy tampons, and it turns out that it's really hard to communicate I need tampons. And so all I got were pads, and it was a terrible experience for me. And
Did you have to compete with a pad?
I had to compete with a pad.
Oh, God.
I think that's why I harbor resentment. Bye.
Bye. Yeah, I guess that is the end.
That's
Goodbye.